Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm gonna give you one simple tip. In fact, you can do this right when you're done watching this video. That's gonna help improve your service motion so you can get more racket speed. And the racket speed you gain will actually help you both hit a spin serve and a flat serve, depending on how square you get the racket against the back of the ball. But here's the concept. When you begin lifting your racket up on your serve, it's important that you don't have the racket above your hand. And what you want to do, and I've made videos on this before, where you want to lead slightly with the back of your wrist. So when you bring the racket up, you're leading slightly with the back of the wrist. So the wrist is slightly flexed. Now you're not actively flexing it. You're just, as you're lifting the racket, almost pretending like the racket weighs a lot and there's a slight bow in the wrist. But what I want you to practice is put a ball in the throat of your racket and see if you can draw a circle with your racket without letting the ball fall out. So it looks like this, right? So I've already tossed the ball from this point and I'm lifting the racket up. Here's the ball in the throat of the racket. Now watch me draw a circle with my racket and not allow the ball to fall out. Now this is a bit of an extreme example of what you want, but what we typically see as coaches, and if you're a coach you know this, is we typically see players do this and they go into the waiter's tray. We're gonna try to stay away from the waiter's tray because when you get into the waiter's tray, all of a sudden your strings point up and then you really have no ability to hit the ball with spin, which is gonna be the key component to being able to control your serve. So what I want you to do when you practice your serves, you can even practice just tossing the ball and letting it bounce a few times and then putting the ball in the throat of the racket. Now draw a circle without letting the ball fall out. When you keep your strings facing down, it helps you when you come around have the racket on edge. And when the racket's on edge, you can stay on edge longer and you can spin the ball. Obviously, if you spin the ball, you gotta swing off to the right. That's what's gonna make the ball curve. But then you can also, as you're approaching, start to turn the racket and square the racket up against the back of the ball. Remember, what we're trying to stay away from is this waiter's tray for two main reasons. One, it doesn't create a powerful circle, almost like a lasso effect, where you get a lot of racket speed from it. But then it just, once your strings face up, you're gonna hit very flat or you're gonna put a lot of backspin on the ball. And then that makes the ball actually rise when it leaves your racket and almost makes it impossible to hit it fast and have it go in. So I want you to watch me hit a few serves here, and I'll do a couple in slow motion. And I want you to watch how when my racket passes in over my head, my strings are facing slightly down. Now you watch Federer, Federer's racket goes open at this point. It does come in and knock off the party hat, but Federer does allow his racket to open up. But what you notice with Federer is once he comes around, his strings are closed again. So we're gonna produce that slightly closed position by keeping it closed the entire time. But watch me hit these serves and watch how my strings face down, much like I have a ball in the throat of the racket drawing that circle.